Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Campbell.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. And yes, let's go back to the top and start. Good afternoon to all from Dwayne Keene and Davey. Dwayne Keene, let's go. Lions, one pride, Kings of the North Division, champion title, all grit, never back down. 12-1. Let's make it 13-1. Good afternoon from FTP Fred and Brent DeWitt. Lions ruled, the Bears drool, one pride. Yes to all of that. So I did get some interesting messages from the Lions PR department, and it's about a couple things going on. Lions are favorites for the 2025 scheduled Berlin, Germany game because of if David Bada still stays on the roster past this season. David Montgomery and St. Brown all have Germany ties in Berlin. Not saying they'll get it, but they are just a favorite to get that game. And last but not least, Jamison Williams organized a winter coat drive in Detroit. Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, and Carlton Davis attended with Williams to give out the coats to the needy here in Detroit. Our team does so much for the new community. It isn't funny. I love that stuff. Can't wait till tonight. It's the Pick'em show when we get to see the truffle shuffler known as Ken Catalone, the Packer backer. So that's all there is right now. They didn't do a practice yesterday. Yesterday was just video because it's back to practice as normal. It'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just like it is every week when the game's on Sunday. So there's no injury report to report upon. It does look like it's trending to have Levi Omuzariki and DJ Reader back this game. Possibly even Taylor Decker. No word guaranteed on that. The one that might be out is Josh Pascal, but we'll wait and see because I want to see what his designation is at practice time. But that being said, Jonah Williams stepped right in and played just like Pascal. Had a couple pressures, made a tackle for loss, had a couple tackles of running plays on the edge. I didn't see much of a drop off there. Where I saw the drop off was when Aleem McNeil went out of the middle, which I think we need Reader back there if Aleem's a no go after concussion protocol. Because for some reason, it was reported as a concussion, then it was reported as a jaw injury, then by Monday it's a concussion again that he's in concussion protocol. I, it makes me question the whole thing. Should he have even went back in that game? But people who have a jaw injury like that, that's why their ear bothers them. And that's what was going on that game. Yeah, we're already starting to get a bit healthier. Yes, Michael Huck. Uh, like I said, Levi and Wuzuriki and DJ Reader are trending towards player. Josh Pascal is the only one questionable as of right now. Taylor Decker is questionable right now. I've heard no word on them. So until I see the practice reports from this afternoon, I won't be able to give much of an injury report. I'm just going by what I've read and what I've heard from the coaches when they're speaking and reading the press reports. But the Legion of Whom defense, let's do it again. It's not a rumor. It's not a rumor, Fred. It was verified again this morning. Randy Moss has liver cancer. And the way his eyes were so yellow and he's not a drinker. It's leaning towards that middle stage, which has a very, very limited mortality rate. FTP, Fred, it's not a rumor. Remember, he even talked about it on that Tom Brady roast. Yeah, Ryan Sandberg, who's been a coach in the minor league system. It's one of the reasons he stepped away last year, and that's why the Cubs farm team slipped a little bit. So prayers up. That's all I got to say. I don't get why everybody's got to poo poo everything. Let's see. Next time, Pulse Sports reported that Randy Moss is battling cancer. And that's Kevin Harris is the author who writes about the NFL. So it's gaining traction. Uh, right. But that's one of the side effects of liver cancer is liver cirrhosis. I mean, and even if it's just cirrhosis of the liver, it's a survivable thing, but what caused it? They have to get to the root of that. Or is his liver just shutting down? There's all sorts of things. But at the same time, there's other news channels reporting it. And his son is refuting it because they didn't put it out there. And I agree with that. It shouldn't have been put out by someone outside the family because he wanted to keep things quiet. That's why he just said, I'm stepping away due to health reasons. He left it at that. So whatever it is, prayers up to him. And I hope because he said he's been battling it for a while. And if you look, there were times, and he's not a drinker, that his eyes were yellow already in the past years, like over the past 5 years. And they get better for a while, then they get a little darker. This was the darkest yellow I've ever seen his eyes. I wished he wouldn't have taken his sunglasses off. That's how dark yellow they were. I felt sorry for him. There you go. It shouldn't have been put out by someone else outside of the family. Prayers up to the Moss family. And that's what I thought it said. It didn't say that he was lying. He pushed back on it. So, and I agree with him pushing back because he's right. It should have been put out by the family when they were ready. And I just don't think they wanted all the attention because Randy Moss has never been that guy his entire career. Even though as great as he wasn't that guy except on the field. On the field, he wanted everybody's attention. Why? He was that damn good. Off the field, he was a very quiet, humble man. He didn't talk that much shit. He did his antics all on the field, and I respected him for that. I hope that makes sense on how I said it. And I still wish nothing but the best for him and his family. Prayers to him while they go through the troubles and tribulations of whatever they're dealing with, if it's cancer or not. I know that cirrhosis of the liver is the closest thing because he didn't look jaundiced, because that actually yellows the skin too. It was just his eyes. That being said, I'm pretty confident we can win this game at home. There's no limit as to how many home seats can be bought by home fans. And the home fans, we've been sold out of the home seats for a while. And I believe they said they already opened up the standing room tickets again to the second set for this game because it has that big of an implication on the playoff. Now, don't get me wrong, Bills have already clinched their division, but they're trying to retain that number 2 seed. Oh, he was very humble off the field. That's all I can say. I've seen him in interviews, and he was very humble. Gave glory to God for his God-given talent. Didn't talk about himself that often in the third person, unlike a few others that we know about that were divas. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, and you know what? They're kind of right for doing it because you know what? He kept pressing. If he'd have left it alone and not kept engaging and just walked back to the flag to be a flag bearer, he'd have been fine. Because they expect us to say a little something, and players overreact, coaches overreact. If we'd have left it alone, LaFleur would have been fine. By keep engaging and keep going, he basically got himself a lifetime ban. Kind of like the lady who dumped the beer on St. Brown at Lambeau, who got a lifetime ban. Oh, but at home, and Fred says, I agree, and you can't throat slash. I mean, it wasn't nowhere near as degrading as what the lady who dumped the beer on St. Brown was. But if Lambeau's going to ban that fan, we should ban the fan that's causing an altercation. Because that could have got ugly for all the fans right there, not just him. You piss the team down off enough, they'll attack everybody around him. It becomes a mob mentality. And I feel like he pushed it too far. When you watch the video, you can't hear what they're saying because it's too far away. But he was engaging for quite a while before LaFleur got upset because he had 5 guys coming at him off the bench. I just think he went too far. I'm not going to defend a fan for being stupid. There's levels of fandom I can agree with. That's not one of them. I see we got 31 watching. Make sure you hit that like button all across whatever media you're on, including the ones on X, following me through Viking Robs and Ken the Bear Fan. 7 of you here live on the YouTube channel. I don't I try not to defend stupidity. That's all. And stupidity comes in many, many forms. Fitbit watch broke. That's all. But for those of you out there that have jersey orders, they're on their way. Thank you, Dwayne. I know you guys do. I'm saying that for everybody across all the socials because we got people watching on Facebook, we got people watching on X. It helps the algorithm. And also on X, I can see your comments if you post. You just have to click on the video to where it shows live and comment, and I'll respond to you because I'm not here to be awful. I like fans of all the teams. I get along with most of them. I try not to talk too much crap unless it's given to me. When it's given, I give it right back. I just wish YouTube was like Facebook and you could block a user and then all their multiple accounts they have because it would be so much easier. And y'all know what I'm talking about. But I think he got the hint yesterday when I finally blocked him the last time. I'm done. It's disrespectful to me. It's no longer flattering because I asked him to stop. So what's your question? It isn't Ask the Host Day. There isn't much out there for Bills injury news either because they're not practicing. They're traveling this week. They have a Sunday game. Is David Bada even still on the practice squad? I'm just curious. Nope, he's not. He's on the Washington Commanders. No, why do they do that? They always put it stupid. David Bell is American football defensive tackle for the Washington Commanders, but plays currently on the Detroit Lions. Jesus, that's so stupid of a way to say it, AI. I talk trash back when it's talked to. Just like the guys hiding in the Walmart parking lot covered in desert piss that says he's hunting. I'll be there no matter what, dude. He showed up on Saturday and Sunday, Fred, unfortunately. And he did say, "Hey, I'm not going to cry about the penalties. The Lions beat us. They're a good team." He finally said it. I was there live when he said it. He was even there for a minute at the beginning of the show Monday till I popped in. That's what I was trying to tell you. He was there after the game. He gave us our kudos. You just happened to miss it, Fred. With everything that was going on, I get it. He was actually on Friday in the morning show on Ken and Ken. Yep, Saturday evening it was the open mic night, and then the morning show on Sunday, the Red Zone rant. And he didn't use the refs. He didn't say anything. He goes, "We got to play better in the first half. We can't come out slow like that. Any team that plays 4 quarters will beat you if you start like that." Same thing that happened to the Bears. Just saying. He admitted it. He goes, "We did get some chunk plays and look good in the second half, but it wasn't good enough." And that's a respectful take. But what he will never back off of is fool's gold lions or same old lions. That's just who he is. He'll always be that darn trying to trigger us. And I get it. But Gibbs, when he caught that pass, melted the defense like cheese. On Thanksgiving, we gave Caleb the Cobb. This should be hitting stores today. The delivery started going out Tuesday. The shredded cheese heads fresh from Green Bay. And the best part of that game is we clinched. On the leg of Jake Masturbates. I don't like Legatron because that's somebody else's nickname first. I hate when you take and repurpose somebody's nickname. Come up with something original. That was Greg Zerline's nickname, was Legatron, when he kicked his 55-yarder. So I don't like using a nickname of a guy that's currently in the league. It's not like the guy retired; he's still in the league. But don't forget, 9 p.m. we get to see Kitty Ken. Meow. Been a while. How you doing, Jeremy? Everyone else, how you? Oh, I'm doing better. Still hurting, but up to 3 days a week instead of two now. So now I've got Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays closing as manager. The big boot Jake Bates. I like Master Bates. It's Master Bates. Like a US Bates from the toy. But to call him Legatron, I think it's weak because there's a current player in the NFL that has that nickname in Greg Zuerlein. He's on the IR, but he's not retired. He might even be back kicking by now. Yeah, that was great when he did that versus the Bears when it went through the uprights and dong, and then he did it later versus the Packers where it actually sailed way through the upright. Yeah, we got to come up with something good for Jake Bates, and I want it to be original. I don't think Legatron is the right nickname. It's just me. That would be like a wide receiver saying he's Megatron. Mapletron, I was okay with because he was saying he was the Canadian Megatron, but at least he changed it. He didn't use the exact same name, but he never lived up to his own nickname. That's the funny part. He had all the measurables and the speed to be that good, just never panned out. That's what happens when you got the hands of Eric Ebron and the body of a wide receiver. So that guy's got one hell of a leg. That's all I got to say. So I'm in conjunction with my jersey company that makes the jerseys for everybody. And I'm talking to them about doing a baseball style jersey with that logo for sale. I got to get some money together. I want to buy the stock myself. That way, when people order it, I just ship it out. Would anybody be interested in something like that? This logo would go on the front. It would be in the Lions colors, and it would go on the front in where the logo would be up like near the shoulder or on the sleeve of a baseball jersey. Take it like $45 ship, baseball style jersey. Considering all the sports ones are 75 bucks. I hate when work gets in the way of my Lions content. It happens all the time, Mike Huck. Dale, it is really great to see you here. I've been worried about you. I was hoping nothing happened. Jake Boomin Bates. I kind of like that. I kind of like it because he booms it through. I have been saying the Flash for Jameson Williams. For Amon Ross St. Brown, I just like the power of Ra. He's the sun god because that's his name. His name literally means the sun god in Egyptian. All of the St. Brown brothers were named after gods in Egypt. So the nickname's there. It's the power of Ra. Only guy I know that made a human T or FDP. I'm just saying, defensively, we look like we match up really well. Been taking a break for a few weeks, but all is good, brother. And look at that. Despite all the injuries, we haven't lost yet. The Legion of Whom is doing their job. So how about Alabama being knocked out of the CFB? I love it. But at the same time, I don't think they ever should have been there because they said when they created the college football playoff committee that strength of schedule was not going to be as big of a determining factor that the team's record would. The last 2 years, they knocked out a 12-0 Florida State team who actually went undefeated in the ACC, but because their quarterback was hurt, we got to put Alabama in. We saw how that worked out. Alabama versus Michigan, we pounded them into submission. I think Florida State would have gave us a better game, even with their backup quarterback. We kept going till they broke, is what I'm getting at. So, yep, it's looking like Josh Pascal may even play, from what I just read. But every week since Hutchinson's been hurt, we've had a different guy atop the PFF rankings for this defense. The first week, it was Trevor Nowaski when we went up against Minnesota who showed out. The next week, a guy we signed off the practice squad, Al-Qadim Muhammad. The next week, it wasn't O'Connor, it was the other backup tackle we signed, and it was weird. Every week we have somebody else. Hey, I don't like that one either. I mean, Three Musketeers have been used before. That's what they used to call Herman Moore, Brett Fairman, and Johnny Morton. Uh, you know, well, it's because they said even if SMU loses, they wouldn't get knocked out of the playoffs because they had a better record. And then somebody said, but their strength of schedule is so much weaker. And they used the strength of schedule argument to knock Miami out of the playoffs at 10-2. And then said it didn't matter for SMU. And that's where I have an issue. So you could actually say, because everybody said we had nobodies on our roster prior to the season. Remember this? We had nobodies in our wide receiver room, nobody's in our secondary, and nobody's at linebacker. This is what we heard all off season. The whole team's Legion of Boom. There. I'm going to get on Canva and try to make a picture out of it. What do you guys think? They said we had nobody in our wide receiver room, that we were the worst in the North, yet we were seventh in the league ranked. And yes, we were behind everybody, but they didn't realize how good the wide receiver rooms in the NFC North was. It confounds me when people make weird statements like this. And now we got two guys still in the top 10. You know who's not in the top 10? Oh, I know we do. And I'm glad that we got Reader coming back. There's a possibility of even Lee McNeil if he clears protocol, but he has to pass it. We couldn't win with the first place schedule. There's no way you'll get 12 games again. Newsflash, we only got 4 games to go, and we already got 12 games. We'll see you in the playoffs. Get there. You haven't clinched your spot yet because you're in third place. And what if the Honolulu Blue Flu kicks in again and they lose another 2 games? Then you're talking about, wow, they might get bounced out of the playoffs by if Washington surges or one of the other teams around that win total gets up there? What if Atlanta starts to win and Tampa Bay starts to win at the same time? There's all sorts of scenarios. Right now, in order for us to lose the number 1 seed, we have to get to 14-3, unless Philly loses this week versus Pittsburgh. And at 14-3, that means we have to lose to either the Bills or Chicago or San Francisco. And we're on the road in Chicago and San Francisco, so I get the odds are a little better for that to happen because it's outdoors. It's the middle of winter, but San Francisco isn't that cold in December. So I'm trying to remain objective, but I'm staring at a 15-2 in first place overall. We'd have the first seed with a tie with Minnesota. Right. But the Rams have a chance to catch the Packers, is what I'm saying. Washington can catch them. And I think they beat New Orleans this week with the injury to Derek Carr. Because I think it would be stupid to play him and let him get more injured. And that's just me. Oh, don't worry. The post will come out if that happens in week 18. If week 18, if they end up bounced out of the playoff, the post will happen. Everybody's freaking out. So, does everybody realize how good Smith has been the last 4 games with us? 20 pressures, 14 hurries, 2 hits, and 4 sacks. Guess what it was through his first 9 games with the Browns with Myles Garrett on the opposite side of him? Everybody said, "Oh, he won't be good here without Myles Garrett on the opposite side." So I want to go here. 27 pressures, 20 hurries total, 2 hits, and 5 sacks. So in 4 games, he's done just as good here, basically, as he did in 9 with the Browns. But we were told that wasn't going to happen. Zadarius Smith is a huge reason why we've been playing even better than we thought we would with the Legion of Whom defense. So I'm going to try to get a Buffalo Bills podcaster and content creator to come on. It is crazy that the Steelers haven't won in Philly since 1965, seeing how they're all in the same state. It's insane. And they're due. Good Lord, I hate this fucking phone. 540 subscribers, guys. But the real Dan Mitchell subscribed back to me. So I'm going to send him a message and I'm going to ask him to join me on Friday and we'll get into it. Would you guys like that? Would you rather him on the morning show so it's just me and him one on one, or would you rather him with the other Lions fans? I'm going to leave it up to the fans because I actually think it would be better to do a one on one with the Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B featuring the real Dan Mitchell. who's got hundreds of subscribers. Mm. Not the real Dan Mitchell. He changed his name right in front of me. Good Lord. Friday afternoon with a one-on-one sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to get him because I think it would be a good idea. He's funny as hell too. That way we can actually talk, debate, maybe even get into the. So I sent him a message, hoping he follows me back because it was a fake account that followed me, so I just had to block it. I hate when they do that and they add a number and then they try to delete it, then they add a number and they delete it. It's it's a weak take, guys. Do better. But I did send him a message. And for the Lions fan cave chat, I invited another guy that has what's his name? Poor Michigan beer. Just a beer drinking Lions fan that loves the team, studies it like I do. I invited him to Friday for the fan cave chat. I hope he responds because the guy gave a great take. He was in there and he didn't call him the Legion of Whom. He was like, "Who the hell are these guys on our defense that just keep showing up every week?" The same thing we've been saying. We've lost Hutchinson. Every other team in the league said, "Oh, that's the one player you guys can't afford to lose. You won't win a game after that." What have we done? What have we done? We've won every game since. We waited till the last second and traded on the midnight at 11:50 on midnight of trade deadline, basically, and got Zadarius Smith that day. First thing in the morning, of course, but you know what I'm saying. We waited till the last possible day, and I said we would. And I also said it wouldn't be Max Crosby or Miles Garrett, that we were probably getting Zadarius Smith the entire time for 6 straight weeks. Nobody wanted to hear that. And lo and behold, we got him. And when he got here, he was so happy. He looked just like Rashid when he got to the Pistons in 2004. So I'm not as winning games and a winning record, things happening all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it when they give that argument. So that's something else I want to get into. Let's get into the record of the teams we face. Because now remember, the one team is skewed because they played the Lions twice. So that's 24 wins and only 2 losses added to their schedule. I want to get into that right now because I actually saw this, and it was an interesting take. So the opponent's records combined is 86 and 83. So that's a winning record overall, right, guys? Minnesota and the people they face. Do you want to know what that record is? Combined 75 and 94. Green Bay, who's played Detroit twice and lost both times, 95 and 74. So they've had a harder schedule. Guess who hasn't played very good teams? The second ranked team in the NFC. They're getting it done with smoke and mirrors, guys, and we're missing it. You know what their record is against them? 71 and 98. They have the largest disparity of teams they won against at a 58 wins and 85 losses record. In their losses, they've lost to teams that are dead even, 13 and 13, a 6 and 7 team, and a 7 and 6 team. Okay? Holy shit. They lost to the same team we lost to, the Buccaneers. I think it's going to be a low scoring game because both defenses have kept scores low. Go look at it. '71 and 98 is the record of all the opponents of the Philadelphia Eagles this season. They have played all the teams combined. They have beaten Green Bay in week 1, Atlanta, New Orleans. They lost to Tampa Bay. They lost to Atlanta. 6 and 7, 7 and 6, right? They beat Cleveland at 3 and 10, New York at 2 and 11, Cincy at 5 and 8, Jacksonville at 3 and 10, Dallas at 5 and 8, Washington is 8 and 5. There's their only team other than Tampa Bay with a winning record. LA Rams now 7 and 6, and Baltimore at 8 and 5. Carolina's 3 and 10. The total combined for their entire season this year is 71 and 98. Green Bay, who's played Philly with a good record, Minnie with a good record, and Detroit twice with a good record. 43 and 61 in their winning games. You know what the record is of their opponents who won? 46 and 6. When you combine it all together. Minnesota, 75 and 94. The team that's had the harder schedule has been Green Bay, and we saw that. And that's because Kansas City somehow, but the NFL screwed up and dodged them playing Detroit. But we don't make our schedule. Detroit Lions record overall 86 and 83. Their record against the teams they've won 79 and 77. The record of the teams in their losses are 7 and 6. And that's Tampa Bay. That's it. The only team we lost to has a winning record. Our remaining schedule, our opponents are 31 and 21. And that's even with Chicago and San Francisco with losing records. For Minnesota, they have the hardest one at 33 and 19 for the remaining opponents. Green Bay is second hardest at 28 and 24. And Philly has 25 and 27 with the easiest schedule. They are the only team that faces a losing schedule to end the season is Philadelphia Eagles. And everybody says, well, who have the Lions played? We played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with a winning record. So let me read that again. The team that's had the hardest schedule is Green Bay eh, because their opponents are 95 and 74 overall. Their losses, which is Philadelphia, Minnesota, Detroit twice. You combine all that together, that's 46 and 6. If you want to remove one of the Detroit ones because they played us twice and just make it 12 and 1, that means they're 34 and 5 against them. Minnesota in their losses because they played Detroit 19 and 7 against them. They've only lost to Detroit and the LA Rams. Artist formerly known as PC, good to see you. Philly is phony. Inconsistency is the word to describe them. They will crumble in the playoffs when they face a real team. And I've said that wholeheartedly. 71 and 98. 71 wins and 98 is the record of all their components combined. They've only played two teams with close to winning records so far since the beginning that they lost to, and that's Atlanta and Tampa Bay, who are fighting for a division. And Minnesota's had an easy schedule. 75 and 94 is their record of the opponents against them. In their wins, 56 and 87. In their losses, 19 and 7. The record of the loss that we have is 7 and 6. And if some of those teams have had a winning record until after we played them, they got the blue flu. Well, they can't say that about Green Bay, and you can't say that. And Dallas didn't have a winning record. I don't want to go into the blue flu thing. The only one that had a winning record was Seattle, and they have a winning record still. They're 8 and 5, so that's a good team. Minnesota 11 and 2. Houston's 8 and 5. Good team. They're winning their division. Green Bay's 9 and 4. Third place in the North, but are in danger of missing the playoffs, and they don't even realize it. So according to the strength of schedule, when you break it down, 5.2 for the Lions, 2.8 for Green Bay, 1.7 for Philly, and 3.0 for Minnesota. It is what it is. Green Bay has the hardest schedule out of everybody. Is my point. And until somebody proves me wrong, because they still got Seattle, they still got Minnesota. They already beat Chicago once. They got to beat them again in Week 18. And they're at home. It's outside. It's cold. Both teams are going to be cold. They have a heated field, so the ground won't be that hard. But FTP. Fuck the Bears. They're 4 and 9, 0 and 3 in the division. Probably going to be 0 and 4 after Monday night. Green Bay 9 and 4, 1 and 2 in the division. Third place. Fuck the Packers. 11 and 2, 2 and 1 in the division because they got skull fucked to the Lions. They're skull fucked. And in first place, 12 and 1, 4 and 0 in the division. And the division leader, it's the mighty, mighty Lions. I don't even know if KC makes it past the second round. Oh, I know. But they talked about that all offseason, how that schedule favored Taylor Swift's concert schedule. The problem is she had her concert here in the middle of the summer. So, like, I think right at the beginning of June, end of May. So that is what made the difference here. And that is why KC didn't get a game against us because they'd have had to play in Detroit and there was no concert there. And now it's time to talk about my sponsor. It is Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road in Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at 45 bucks and up. New tires, call to get your quote. Talk to George, Red, or myself, 810-233-8230. New tires are delivered within 1 to 2 business days. If you mention this ad, you get $25 off a new set of tires when we're already 50 to 100 bucks cheaper than everybody else. And that includes mounting and taxes. And if you need a used set of tires, we will knock 10 bucks off a set. I want to say, as I always do, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys coming here every day and talking football with me because you know what? It's a wonderful thing. And for those of you like Patty Grimes, J.I., even shitty water ingredients make the tires better. Yes, it makes them a harder rubber compound. They don't wear down as much. That's it. But J.I. and Candy, all jerseys are ordered. They will, as soon as I know they were shipped, I will give you a date on when I will receive them and get them shipped out. I love everybody here. You know, I even love the Packer fans that come in and talk their shit. I love the Viking fans. I love the Bears. I hate their teams when we play them, so I don't like them that week during more week. That's it. After that, it's over. I can talk football with you. I can be a calm. I can. If you shit talk me, I shit talk it back. That's how I am. If you go to personal attacks, then you're just showing how unintelligent you are that you can't talk football without getting upset. Personal attacks are not cool. I try not to do the personal attack, other than if you say something that's totally ignorant. Like if you say something that's so stupid, I say, "Wow, that makes as much sense as wiping your ass and then going to take the shit." Just to clarify where I'm at. But this logo is going to be going on shirts, and if you want, and that's the way it should be. Right? Personal attacks are just it's awful. And this might be going on it because we might be changing the name of the channel to just Kneecap Biting Sports Network. Seeing how I have so many teams on here and we talk about more than the Lions, it's about time it becomes a sports network. Does anybody disagree with that? And sometimes you have to wipe more than you like. Yes, absolutely, PC. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a blessed day. And we'll see you tonight on the NFL Roundtable Talk. PC, if you want to